there were people I know that were traumatized by that event. And when I heard the impact. I rushed out of my room. I saw what happened, and I could not believe what they were experiencing, and it made me very angry and broke my heart. And especially for it to happen around the holidays.
Yeah.
And so, when people talk about road safety, it's important to me.
All right. So we're here in West Hartford, Connecticut, with Lisa Lazarus, Democratic candidate for Town Council in West Hartford. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing well. Thank you for joining us on the Halftime Podcast. You have the distinct honor of being one of our first 10, and I really appreciate
Thank
you
you.
agreeing. So let's get into it. Tell me what, introduce yourself the way you want to be introduced, and then we'll get into it from there.
Okay. My name is Lisa Lazarus. I am the youngest of 12. I have 6 brothers and 5 sisters. My family is Chinese Jamaican, so I grew up in an immigrant household. My parents were entrepreneurs, and that really affected me growing up. So I have a very entrepreneurial spirit, hardworking. I've been working since I was 9,
Mm,
but also very team focused uh,
okay.
personality or disposition. I like working on teams.
Collaborative.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like working collaboratively.
Okay. So outside of running for office,
Yeah.
what do you do?
I am the associate director for compliance and recruitment at the YWCA. That's my full-time gig, and I
Okay.
love that. I started that the same time Donald Trump started his job, so I
Okay.
feel like I am the counter programming to
Nice.
his presidency.
Nice.
I'm also a yoga teacher,
Okay.
and what else do I do? I am also a real estate agent, so I wear multiple hats. Yeah.
So you're already involved in the community.
Yes.
Yeah. And you grew up in West Hartford?
No, I actually grew up in Hartford.
In Hartford.
Yeah,
Okay.
Northeast Hartford,
Northeast
yeah, like
Hartford.
Blue Hills area. Yeah.
How long have you been in West Hartford?
Uh, it's been about 3 years. I was living with my sister on Mohegan Drive
Okay.
for about a year and some change, and then I just recently moved in with my partner John Blair in December.
Okay.
So I went from living in what is District 1 over by Simsbury Road, and now I'm in District 4, which is over by closer to Elmwood, so not too far from here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know we talked before when we were kind of setting things up, and you said West Hartford is home for you.
Yeah.
Um, Tell me about that. How does West Hartford feel to you?
Yeah. So, going back to my formative years, for most people, it is elementary school, middle school times when you're trying to find yourself.
Right.
I went to Renbrook School for middle school, and just being there felt like home away from home.
Okay.
I really felt like the teachers and the staff there had a conversation with my parents on how they wanted me to be educated.
Okay.
And it was a lot of instilling good values like kindness, community, compassion, and curiosity, intellectual curiosity in a safe space.
Okay.
And so it just always felt like home away from home.
And so, of course, it sounds like you're very involved in the community
Yeah.
already. So it's a great place to start. Um, but what's your why? Why are you Why are you running for office? Is this something you've always wanted to do?
No.
No.
It is the exact opposite of what I've ever wanted to do because running for office, it's public facing.
Yeah.
I am a natural introvert, and you're I'm a natural introvert seeking public life. It's not normal.
Yeah.
It clearly is a deep, passionate why that is motivating me to step out of my comfort zone. And that is just, I really feel like we're missing community, we're missing connection. The tone and tenor of politics and the way people are communicating with each other just does not feel right or sit right with me. So I want to get involved, be an example for people that we've got a younger generation who needs someone to look up to.
Right.
And I just feel like some of our leaders at the national level are not setting a very good example. And that's what people pay attention to.
Right.
And I think getting involved at the local level, what people should be paying attention to, your heroes should be in your community. Um, so I'm just stepping in and hoping that I can make a difference in the life of, you know, people I'm among.
Okay. Yeah, I want to circle back to that local hero thing. Explain a little more about how on the local level, um, it's the the community issue is missing. The community aspect is withering, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people talk about this a lot. Like since COVID and living during the quarantine, we were separated, we were disconnected, but it's happened before that. It was happening before that.
Right.
It's, social media. Technology really took over people's lives, and people were no longer connecting in real life. They were connecting through computers. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, it's easy to become
Right.
addicted to those things. And so we've um, just stopped connecting,
Yeah.
and it's just getting worse.
Yeah.
And when you're not connecting like that, when you have that gap, it leaves space for something to come in
Mhm.
and infiltrate,
Yeah,
kind of like a virus.
I
And
agree.
it's happening. I feel like
Yeah.
there's a virus spreading.
Yeah, I've been talking to my son and other people about the fact that we all walk around in our own technology bubble,
Yeah.
right? It's very isolating, um, and it does prevent community, right?
Hmm.
Especially for you're in Gen X. Are you?
I am a
Yeah.
Gen
Okay.
Xer.
I'm a proud Gen Xer.
Yeah.
I think I'm a little ahead of you. I'm at 50. That's the whole point of this. But we went from going out into the community and trying to find where all the bikes were and where everybody is to, um, finding where the group chat is. But still being by yourself, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's really hard to build community. You at an event I recently attended, you said you were talking about uh, community over chaos.
Yes.
Can you explain that a little more?
Well, you know, there is a lot of chaos going around.
Yeah.
Um, and the way to combat that is to get real, get planted. And probably the best way for me to talk about it is in the context of, my yoga, my spirituality,
Great.
my physical practice of yoga. When there's so much chaos going around, or you're feeling unsure, uncertain about something, you're feeling anxiety, it takes you out of your foundation, it takes you out of your roots. And so, as a yoga teacher, when I feel that chaos, or when I feel anxious or disconnected from myself, I get grounded,
Yeah.
go back to my roots. I visit my mother, who is always, a great source of reminding you who you are and where you came from. And that always helps, and it always brings me back to center, and always brings me back to my why. And it's the same thing in, whether you're at work or whether you're at in politics or whatever it is. When things get chaotic, go back to your why, and go back to your roots, and that will bring you back to your truth, your true north, your purpose, your morals, and your values.
Right.
Yeah.
I found yoga. I do yoga as well. Imagine me in amongst the yoga moms and
Of course you can.
the 83-year-olds who are putting me to shame. But
Yep.
but I but I found yoga at a time where I was out of balance and I
Yes.
really needed it.
Yes.
And I struggled to be consistent. But what I found after sweating like I was playing basketball and nearly falling down and trembling and not
Yeah.
want is that there's a balance element.
Mhm.
And what happened to me is I had this thought like stop fighting yourself,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Um, and all of a sudden
Yeah.
I could do things. I could make adjustments when I didn't feel good.
Yeah.
Um, to me, there's a correlation to that in your with your why,
Absolutely.
just like you're talking about. We're out of balance.
Yes.
Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. I definitely believe we're out of balance. And there's this saying, what you resist persists. And so, just like in your training, in your yoga practice, when you're trying too hard or you're resisting a posture,
Yeah.
it might hurt
It hurts.
more,
Yeah.
or it gets in your head and it becomes this bigger thing than it needs to be.
Right.
It's the same thing in life. It's like if we want to, um, resist certain negative energy or traits, if we see a negative
Yeah.
trait, be the counter programming. You
Right.
try to resist it, you'll just get more resistance,
That's right.
right?
That's right.
Yeah,
Um,
that's physics.
absolutely. And I think people.
Every action has a counter and equal reaction. So
Oh,
it's like if you want to shift the energy, shift what's happening, you have to shift.
that is such an important message.
Yeah.
It's one that I try to live as well. Because it's too much of a temptation to go with
Yeah.
that energy, and you're tipping the scales uh, away from what you need and what
Yeah.
everybody else needs.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. It's so easy to just give in.
yeah,
But
yeah. Especially in these times, that
yeah,
that anger is rough.
it is.
So full disclosure, part of this whole journey for me is figuring out my balance and my why and realigning with purpose. And
Yeah.
one of the areas that I am interested in is politics, is local politics. Why is local politics so important right now, given all the headlines?
Yeah. Local politics impacts your day-to-day life,
Yeah,
right? Every day I get up and I drive to work. So road safety, that's local politics impacts road safety, right?
yeah,
Um, I only fill the gas tank maybe once every 2 weeks. I might be lucky. That's beyond me. That's national
yeah,
politics. That's
yeah.
not local politics. But my everyday getting up, walking out the street outside, interacting with the small business owners, that's local politics, you know?
How do you get people to pay more attention to local politics? Because once again, it's really easy to be all upset about the that election that happens every 4 years.
I think people are paying attention to
Think so?
local politics. Unfortunately, they're letting national politics dictate how they react.
Right.
Um, because there are, just we've seen this week in the passing of Charlie Kirk that there is a national response to that,
Mhm.
and it impacted people at the local level and it impacted people differently. But the message at the national level would have you thinking that there's a war going outside your window.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
there isn't. No, it's like if you actually stopped and spoke to your neighbor,
yeah.
they're kind, they're caring, they're compassionate. No one celebrates the passing of a father.
Right.
That's I lost my father. I know what it feels like to
So did
lose
I.
a father,
Right.
So
Yeah, and that connects back to our technology
yeah,
conversation,
exactly.
because I couldn't help but think the other day, when I was growing up as a teenager, I wouldn't have known about what was going on.
No,
Probably, maybe a little bit. I
yeah,
was I was outside,
yeah.
and I don't think as many adults would have such a strong opinion because you wouldn't
No.
know,
Exactly. You
you
would
know,
not know.
except for those who are in tune with that particular
Right.
person, you wouldn't know. So
Right.
we're making arguments about things that wouldn't have affected your life if you didn't have that screen in front of you.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. And I think about, my childhood, maybe you can relate, like being able to just walk outside, ride your bike, go to the corner store that was owned by a small business person.
right.
That's what I love.
Be a kid.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I really think we are just oversized kids,
right.
and we
Hopefully.
we everyone, you're meant to be happy, you're meant to be joyful and feel safe
Right.
no matter what age you are, and so we should be creating that type of environment.
Do you spend time envisioning yourself in office?
No,
You don't.
no,
Why?
i I try to stay very present.
Okay.
I appreciate the question because visioning is very important and
Yeah.
seeing yourself in
Right.
the role, but um I rather just be it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like live it. I'm really trying to embody what I'm trying to be and create. Yeah, there's this another other saying that says, dress for the job you want, not the job you have. So
Yeah.
that's kind of my way of envisioning myself there. I
I
am
get it.
embodying, I'm a living representation of what I think a local leader should be.
It's a refreshing philosophy.
Yeah,
Um, so, but there are things that are important, obviously, right?
yeah.
So, what specific things stand out that you're looking forward to working on?
Another great question. And there's so many things. Like West Hartford is an amazing town.
Mhm.
Amazing town. I am very fortunate to live here.
It's
Um,
voted. What's the number?
we are number one in the state
Okay,
and number 19 in the country
for best places to live.
for best places to
Man,
live.
I have to look
Yes.
into that.
And, this is something that most people don't pay attention to, but our global ranking bond rating is triple A, which means that we are well managed.
Okay,
We are fiscally responsible,
okay,
and we are an attractive place to invest in.
okay.
So I think that is important for people to know when talking about local
Right.
politics. We have a vibrant economy. Um, the things that are important to me, I can tell you one thing that really impacted me on December 19th, 2022. It was my niece's birthday.
Okay.
And my sister and her children were getting ready to go out to dinner to celebrate my niece's birthday. And it wasn't very late, but it was winter. So it may have been like 6 p.m. And as they were backing out of the driveway, a worker next door was trying to help them back out, and he was hit
Wow.
right in front of my sister's house.
Okay.
So my niece and nephew saw that. My sister witnessed that. She, of course, immediately got out and looked into the eyes of this gentleman. And so there are four people, in addition to his family and him eventually losing his life, there are people I know that were traumatized by that event. And when I heard the impact. I rushed out of my room. I saw what happened, and I could not believe what they were experiencing, and
Wow.
it made me very angry and broke my heart. And especially for it to happen around the holidays.
Yeah.
And so, when people talk about road safety, it's important to me.
Okay.
It, yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah,
can see it.
it's important, and
Yeah.
we have to do something about making the roads safer
Okay.
for children and families, especially in a place where our school system is so good and we want our students to be able to walk to school or bike to school. That's how that's where they start feeling independent,
Right.
right? And we want them to feel that independence. So,
'Cause, other things.
well, yeah, housing affordability. Affordability in general
I
is
figured
something
so.
that
You're a real estate
everyone,
agent.
yeah, exactly. So, as a real estate agent, I have definitely had an ear to the floor on the market, the multifamily investment market, the commercial market. I worked with a lot of small business owners, and then single family. So I've experienced, those different markets. And I mean, I live in an apartment, and I'm not just starting out in my career.
Yeah.
you know, um, it's just the economical thing to do.
Yeah.
And it's like we've had to make that sacrifice. Do we buy or do we rent?
Yeah. Everybody says own. I bought in
Right.
2021
Yeah.
out in Weathersfield. It's a big responsibility.
Yeah,
You know.
it's a big responsibility, and earning equity. They tell you, oh, it's an investment, and
Yeah.
when you start to think about it that way, I think when most people start to think about it that way, it kind of changes
Yeah.
your perspective on where you live and what you want your neighborhood to look like.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
And also just making life changes and transitions.
yeah,
Makes them a little more difficult. You're tied to this
yeah,
thing. Yeah.
yeah,
Trust me, I know right now.
yeah.
So I'm interested in the schools. You said they're great schools. I've
Yes.
been a principal for 22 years. What makes them great?
So the curriculum, the diversity, the staff being well trained and supported with resources. And I mean, I used to teach briefly for myself, and
Okay.
I think the most important thing is the staff,
Yeah.
um, making them feel empowered, making sure they have the support they need to do their jobs. And we all went through the program,
Yeah.
right?
Right. Right. Right.
You were trained, and I'm sure your program was great and trained you very well. And I'm sure you also had your own ideas that you wanted to put in place. And I definitely think we should support our teachers when they have ideas too
Yeah.
that might
Yeah.
work because
And
they know the kids.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we live in interesting times. We have
Yeah.
to. There's also a certain level of letting go of the past and how
Yes.
education was. We're in uncharted territory, you know. Uh, so
And that's another thing. You're making a great point that we are in uncharted territory. And so we should have a little bit of grace on how people respond and act because this is their first time doing it.
yeah,
It's my first time.
yeah,
So I'm like, not going to get it right.
yeah,
I'm doing the best I can with the information I have. And I'm trusting that my friends and neighbors and the teachers and the firemen and the police officers are all doing the best they can. Yeah.
um, what are you reading or listening to right now?
I'm glad that you asked me that question. I'm reading FDR.
Okay.
It is 636 pages. It's
Oof.
my first book that's like a biography and so thick. FDR is my favorite president,
Okay.
and I am making good headway, and I just love it. Yeah.
What makes you love FDR?
So when I was in high school, it was probably the only time in U.S. history that I got an A on anything
Oh,
because I just loved what he did for the country. He reshaped the federal government. He definitely reshaped the role of the federal government in the lives of the American people in the states.
absolutely.
You know, he created a lot of programs that we are currently using, and um, it's sad to see that they might go away
I was gonna
or
say
they're
we're hoping
being.
to keep using them. Yeah.
I know. And to think for so long that they've been around for so long and everyone loved them, and it's like, do you not love them now?
Right.
Like, or you're just not happy with the way they worked. And
Right.
if you're not happy with the way they worked, shift something in policy or procedures. Don't scrap it.
Right.
You know?
The educator in me just needs to clarify Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
Yes.
Just for those who needed that
Yeah, the young
clarification.
folks watching.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Um, so I have tattooed on my wrist,
Mm-hmm.
feed the people,
Mm,
right? Feed the people is a philosophy I live by, right? When in doubt, feed the people. It sounds like we probably are pretty similar in that.
yeah.
If you could sum it up, how do you feed the people?
I believe that I feed the people by showing up authentically and doing my own self healing, doing my own work.
Mm,
Um, every interaction, every failed or successful interaction, I'm the common denominator. So I'm constantly evaluating what could I have done better? Why did this work? Why did this work in this situation, but not in that situation? And I'm always pointing to me.
mm,
What can I do better? How can I create a space that allows Robert to show up as his best self?
yeah, yeah,
How can I make Robert feel safe? How can I be present for Robert?
yeah,
So that's I believe when I do that, you show up as your best self, and that feeds. I hope feeds your soul
yeah.
and feeds your mind and your heart.
That's those are the perfect ingredients for a leader. So it's
Thank
refreshing
you.
to hear that. You know, leaders, unfortunately, and I think we have some examples now, seem to be self-interested and want everybody to see how great they are. But the greatest leaders are interested in the people, right, and the
Yeah,
well-being of the
yeah,
people.
yeah.
100%, leading from behind, right,
Yes, I've often been asked, work, personal life, oh, what's next? What I was like, I am totally fine
right.
being the associate director. I do not need to be the chief. I am okay.
See, I like being the chief, but I get it. I get what you're saying.
Maybe it was
Sometimes,
just like at this moment,
yeah,
I am happy with what I'm doing.
no,
Yeah,
I get it.
yeah.
What's your favorite place on earth? Where is that?
Do you want a physical place?
It
Because I'm
no,
so,
no, you it's
yeah,
I was just gonna say it's open. You can answer that however you want, and it doesn't have to necessarily have to do with travel. If it does, that's
yeah.
great. But where's your favorite place?
Gosh, anywhere I feel wonder.
Mm.
So, sometimes it could be playing with my niece and seeing her do something, and then all of a sudden I'm like, wow, how'd she think about doing that? How'd
Right,
she figure that out? How'd she ask that question? That's
right,
weird. Or even if it's on my yoga mat and just being, what if I move my body that way? And how does it feel? Or, this feels good. I didn't want to come, but now it's great. So, um, those are always my favorite places and time.
right.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling you're going to mention it, someone, but what's your favorite food and where can you get it?
I am a foodie. You cannot ask me that question because I'll have a list of things for you. Um, I went to Gold Dumpling the other day on
Okay,
Park Road. They have very good steamed dumplings. I like their dumplings.
okay,
Chef Zhang's over by the mall. There isn't anything I don't like on that menu, but they really got a whole fish that's so good.
okay,
And then, of course, I'm Jamaican, and we all go to Benji's.
okay,
Yeah,
okay. All right. Um, what do you
yeah.
like for?
I listed a lot of Chinese Jamaican food. My family's Chinese
I mean,
Jamaican, so
it's all right.
it's my
You're
soul
allowed.
food. Yeah.
You're allowed. Um, and this final question that I ask everyone: what's your favorite sound?
Silence,
Silence. That was quick.
easy.
That makes sense. Um, so one final message or word that you want to leave the people with.
Hope.
Hope. That's perfectly timed.
Oh no, the audacity of hope. I don't want to be cliche, but it's like, we cannot lose hope.
Well, it's perfectly timed for where you are and what you're getting ready to do.
Thank you.
Um, I appreciate you being a part of this project,
Yeah.
um, and I hope that another goal of this is to build community in an authentic way, where it's not we just had a conversation and we never talk again, but that when there are opportunities to collaborate, we intentionally
Yeah.
find ways to collaborate, right? So, you know, if I'm working with people or you're working with people and you're like, you know what, I know somebody, and I'm like, you know what, I know somebody. That's how community works.
Absolutely.
And I have not been good at maintaining community, but that's what this project is about. So I will make a promise to you that we will stay connected.
Absolutely. And if anyone has read Malcolm Gladwell's book, can't remember the name of it, but um, there are people out there who are very good at that, and they're called connectors. And I
Yeah,
like to consider myself a connector. I like staying connected and connecting people to other great people.
that's great.
So we're being very intentional about it, and I love that. Thank you. I
Thank
will,
you.
yeah.
It was great to talk to you.
It's great to be in the top 10.
Yeah. Right. All right.
All right.
This is halftime.